Well, we have an interesting problem today, and of course it's one of those situations that will never be solved to everyone's satisfaction. But we begin with a very basic question, and that is, why are we here? What is humanity's reason for existence? Well, there are many schools of thought over the periods of time as to why all this happened. And probably the Greeks had one approach, that the powers that be, the deities of Olympus, having created a beautiful garden here, put human beings down here to take care of it and to enjoy it as much as possible, to take good care of all values and never to become destructive in their relationships. Something went wrong with the plan. A little later, perhaps, Aesop answered the question as to why humanity exists, and he took the position that it was a test of stamina. In other words, the gods had as their principal occupation the casting down of the great and the lifting up of the lowly. Well, that had considerable meaning back in those days, but it isn't as vital now because the lowly do not seem to be coming up as rapidly as they should. So this theory was cast aside. And then we came into the conditions that arose with the Protestant Reformation in Europe. The school children of that time were given a little doggerel to recite. With Adam's fall, we sinned us all. That seemed to take care of everything. But again, there were doubters. Everyone was not satisfied. Then we were here to expiate original sin. With Adam's fall, we sinned us all. That hasn't retained popularity either. So day by day, different periods and different appointments and different philosophies have worked with the problem. Science, in a sense, has cut the Gordian knot. Scientific point of view seems to be there is no reason. And we are simply a product of a continuing failure of we might say, the staying of the growth of humanity. In other words, as some of the friars of the Middle Ages said, the only answer to this is that everyone will stop propagating their kind, and in one generation humanity will cease and it will all be over. Well, that had attraction for some, but the outlying districts never came in. And so that was put aside as one of the speculations. So we are left with a series of philosophical and theological explanations and a scientific situation in which it is all biological, and the inevitable expansion of humanity will continue until the planet will no longer protect or carry them. All of these are unsatisfactory answers. And as far as the books are concerned, we probably never will have an answer that everyone agrees on. But we can, with a certain amount of effort, begin to examine things. And that is the reason we have chosen for a subject this morning, an invitation to insight. We must each, in a certain sense at least, solve these problems for ourselves. We must come to our own conclusions as to why things are as they are, and what the chances of their getting better actually can be considered. Well, insight is a combination of the use of resources within the individual. Perhaps the answer to it all is that we were put here to learn how to think. We're to learn how to live well. and to reform the mistakes of our own forebears and our own present errors of thinking. Insight depends upon two faculties in the human mental equipment. One is the group of faculties which are called the practical or expressive faculties of observation. We are given the power to observe what is happening in the world around us. We can observe every type of phenomena that exists within the range of our perceptions. We can also go through life observing all these things and coming to no valid solution to anything. In other words, we can see almost everything there is to see. But to most people, what they see does not mean anything, unless it happens to be something they're desperately wanting to see. We do not use the powers of perception which we have in order to find some type of depth dimension in our observations. In other words, we are constantly confronted with lessons, and we are with the same constancy avoiding them, failing to see or accept. We go from day to day living largely upon our own notions. If we like things, they're good. If we do not like them, they're bad. If they require a great deal of thinking, we will pay someone else to do it for us. And as they probably did not know any more than we do, the bill is high and the consequences are very minimal. We do not use the faculties of observation. Everything that happens is more than just a picture moving by. It is a compound of living factors. We see the consequences of badly run business organizations and the sign of bankruptcy that appears finally on the door. But this means nothing to us except somebody went bankrupt. It has no bearing upon our lives. We do not observe the causes, the reasons, and the circumstances associated with the phenomena we observe every day. Now, in addition to this, we have another group of faculties which are called the reflectives. These faculties are the meaning faculties. They are the things that, within our own structure, that induce us to contemplate, to consider, and to philosophize upon the common circumstances of the day. The eyes tell us what's happening. The reflective faculties try to explain to us what these happenings mean to us every day. Evidently, we were supposed to do something in this area, or we would not have been given this allotment of faculties. We would not have powers to see what is happening and to think about what is happening unless these happenings had some meaning, some value beyond what we commonly consider. So in our daily living as private citizens, it is not necessary for us to depend upon any of the grand solutions that solve nothing. It is not necessary to follow any system which is based upon merely attitudes rather than reflections and considerations of facts. Bacon refers to the idols of the marketplace, and this is a very good observation. The marketplace is the common world in which we live. The idols of the marketplace are the attitudes, beliefs, and opinions which we cling to because they are held by those in the marketplace. We feel that the marketplace sets the standard which we must all live by. Whatever is believed by the merchant must be believed by the rest of us. Whatever is important to the man trying to make money is important to the individual who would like to try to make money. And that covers most folks before it's over. But the idols of the marketplace are the attitudes, opinions, legislations, policies, and concepts with which we are constantly bombarded. And these are the idols which are not of any valid significance, but they take the place of ideals. An ideal is a concept that is held with reverence.